The Insta360 Go 2 has been my go-to family event filming camera for a while. It's so small and unobtrusive and simple to use, with one button, quick recording, and super simple AI editing features that even someone who doesn't want to spend hours putting together quick event memories can easily make a compelling video with. The Go 3 is the latest iteration, and as expected, it improves on just about everything, from resolution, audio, features, and more. It also adds this neat little docking cradle that turns it into a versatile action camera with a flip-up screen to see what you're recording. But for those who demand the absolute best quality from their videography and don't need one device to do it all, or even the tiny lifelogging camera format, you're probably still going to be better served with a dedicated action camera, such as the Insta360 1R with a 1-inch Leica lens. I'm James Bruce, you're watching MakeUseOf.com reviews. Keep watching to find out if the Go 3 is the right mini action and vlogging camera for you. And here is the obligatory Pigo tax, filmed on the Go 3. In the box, you'll find a bunch of useful accessories, the most important of which is the action cam housing and remote control. When the Go 3 is docked in here, it looks very much like any other action cam, albeit with a pivoting screen for ease of use when vlogging, that sort of thing. Now, this also contains another battery, such that you can recharge your Go 3 just as you would with, say, a case for earbuds. The camera itself has a battery, the case has a battery, you put it in here, it'll recharge the battery on the camera. As well as being just a larger housing for more demanding shoots and a recharge case, it can also function as a remote control without the Go 3 docked inside it. Now, this is great if you're trying to do something other than the standard one-button, 1-minute quick record, or if you need to actually have a preview of the point of view, which you then get on the screen there. So, more on the features later. For now, let's look at the other bits and pieces. Elsewhere in the box, you'll find the classic pendant mount. This is something that you wear underneath your t-shirt, and then the Go 3 magnetically attaches to that, giving you a superb, discreet and somewhat magical looking mini camera, like it's just attached to nothing. You'll also find an angle adjustment for use with any of the other magnetic accessories. It's just a layer that sits in between you and the camera and then lets you angle it up or down as needed. Then you also have this clip mount. Again, this is magnetic, so don't use it for high-intensity screens, but it works great with sort of baseball caps and that sort of thing. Finally, there's a combined sticky mount and tripod thread pivot stand. So this can stick anywhere flat, like a clean windscreen. You just clean it off for reuse, or you unscrew that part, and then you'll get a basic pivoting mount for the end of a selfie stick, which is, of course, also compatible with things like this absurd 3-meter selfie stick. Now, there's also two pretty essential, I would say, but actually optional accessories that will go with your Go 3. The mini 2-in-1 tripod, which is a couple of foot extendable selfie stick and a tripod, as well as a quick release mount, which lets you mount the whole camera, the whole action camera body setup to the selfie stick easily, or any other action cam mounting system. It's all standardized now. All right, so let's talk about some specs and features while I play you a variety of sample footage. Everything I'm showing you is shot on the Insta360 Go 3 in a variety of either free frame or higher resolution standard video mode, and I've output that via the desktop app, but I'll show you some quick examples later of quick cuts and AI templates from the smartphone app too, since that's a big part of how you're going to use this. Though for the absolute best quality footage, you will want to use the desktop application to output that video. So first up, resolution. The maximum you can shoot at now is 2.7K rather than 1440p. So that's a big jump. It's still not 4K, but in fairness, this thing is teeny tiny, and in good light, it does look fantastic. Not so much in low light. It is a tiny sensor after all. Again, For much better low light performance in an action camera, you'll want to stick with the Insta360 1R with the 1-inch sensor that lets in a lot more light. The battery is much improved too, with up to 45 minutes directly from the Go 3 itself, which is 50% more than the Go 2. And with the help of recharging from the pod case thing, that gives you 173 minutes total. However, I will say that's when shooting at 1080p 30 FPS, so higher resolution and faster frame rates will result in lower battery life. At the top end resolution of 2.7K, you can only shoot in 30 FPS, but if you drop down to 1080p, that goes up to 50. Still, for the type of things I've been shooting on this, the battery life has never been an issue. It's not for massive, long recording all day things. It's ideally just short, snappy clips. So compared to the previous version, the audio quality should be much improved. In fact, Insta360 calls this vlog ready. So if you haven't guessed it already, this part is recorded directly from the Insta360 Go 3. The audio is raw from the camera and I haven't added any filters or anything, although I am standing in a rather cavernous old quarry. So anyway, it now uses 2 microphones instead of just the one, and I'll let you be the judge of the quality there. And just for completion's sake, here's a sample of how it sounds when I'm talking to you with it mounted on the chest pendant. Again, no further audio adjustments to this, it's just straight off of the camera as is. So the Insta360 Go 3 is waterproof, sort of. The Go 3 itself, the mini camera part, is waterproof completely to 5 meters. So as long as you just have this in a selfie stick or magnet mount, it's fine to go underwater. The Action Pod case is not waterproof. It's IPX4 water resistant, so splashes, etc. are fine, just do not submerge it at all. So what about the app features? If you've seen any of my previous Insta360 Go reviews, you'll know I'm a big fan of the flash cut templates. These are designed around a theme. You just pick the template, pick the clips, it figures out the best bits, and then you can tweak it if needed and press output, boom. But the new to the app now is the auto edit, and this kind of takes it a step further. Instead of having to pick a specific template, you just pick the clips that you want and you press go, like as if it wasn't easy enough already. It'll then add some music and it puts the clips in time to the music. Although I did still find myself having to manually tweak most of the clips. I didn't like the parts that it had found, but it's easy enough to change the start times on them. So here's a quick demo of a completed sort of flash cut template. You'll also find a specific shooting mode for time-lapses, which you can see now, as well as star-lapses, which is their long exposure version of a time-lapse. So shooting this clip was just a matter of selecting the right mode and pressing record. There's literally no other further editing required. So I've been using this to film various action sequences for reviews over the past month, and it's great for point of view shots, as well as sticking it on a selfie stick and filming low down, close to e-bike wheels, that sort of thing. The diminutive size is also great for sticking on Lego trains. And overall, I'm really pleased with how versatile the Go 3 is. If I'm going to take one camera somewhere to film everything, it's going to be this one. So is it worth buying the Insta360 Go 3? If you don't already have an action camera and you want something that can also be a tiny lifelogging camera for family events or for vlogging, for home use or TikToks, then this is ideal. I wouldn't recommend it for professional use. After all, it can't go to 4K resolution. If you're upgrading from the Go 2, the resolution bump is nice, as is the new preview screen on the case. The Go did have a charging case and remote control, but nothing that could preview the video. You needed the app to do that. It's not what I'd call an essential upgrade. But if you can afford it and would like the resolution bump, then certainly it is a good upgrade. However, if you're not interested in the small size aspect, the lifelogging capabilities, the simple one-touch recording, and you just want an action camera, it's definitely not the best choice. The Action Pod is a neat extra feature, but it's not the main focus of this, and you could do much better elsewhere for high-intensity action sequences where you don't necessarily know exactly what angle you want to be filming, the Insta360 X3 is your best option. Now, this is going to film everything at once, which makes it probably the easiest to not have to think about and plan about where your shots are. You just film. Then later in post-editing, you choose where the subject is, you can track the subject, and you can refocus the frame into whatever you want. It starts off at 5.7K, but when you take your final section of the 360 image, you're going to end up with about 1080p. So as long as you don't need super high resolution, this is probably your better option for high intensity action sequences where you don't know which angle you're going to film and you just want the easiest filming option. On the other hand, if you do know the angle, if you're prepared to spend the time to set the angle up correctly and have it all locked in place before you film, and you want the absolute best quality, then you can't go wrong with the Insta360 One R. This is going to give you 4K resolution or even higher and superb performance in low light if you pair it with the Leica 1-inch sensor module. So for more professional work with an action camera proper format, this is definitely your better option. But as one camera to do it all, for life logging, action cam, and so much more, the Go 3 is a superb option. So that's it from me today. I hope I've shown you a little of what this Go 3 camera is capable of and why you might want one or why not. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or feedback. I'll do my best to answer that. Otherwise, I'd love it if you could hit like, and I'll see you in the next one. From myself, James Bruce, and all of us over at makeyourself.com reviews. Until next time.